Alright, shalom, 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 shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash, double honors, and to my elders and apostles of great millstone, which other men that rule well and taught us his truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect as always. And, super quick lesson, man. Be mindful of who you listen to. Alright, it's more so for the younger, you know, younger believers. When I say younger, not physical age, but more so, you know, those of you that are brand new to the faith, man, you have to be very mindful, of who you're listening to, man. Given the recent events and, recent controversy in Israel, with Hassad and Hakah, once again they're in the spotlight once again because of, the buffoonery, man, that is amongst Israel. You know, when you look at what went down with Sakari, and I don't even want to, make this 100% about them. It's more so about, what did the scriptures say? And using discernment. Scriptures speak about discernment, being able to determine, who's right in the spirit and who's wrong in the spirit. And it's very obvious that those men are wrong in the spirit, just off of, if you haven't seen it already, brothers is going in on it. And, this dude, Hakag, getting exposed by his wife and, for being, a certain way towards her and things like that. And, like I said, not to make it about them, but it's more so about, these dudes ain't right, man. You could tell these dudes ain't right just, based off of their doctrine, man. The doctrine, they stepped away from Sakari, and, when they were in Sakari, they were going off. When they left Sakari, they were going off even more. They went from not believing Paul's teachings to believing it. Now everyone can be saved. Now the names ain't this, ain't that. So it just goes to show, man, that you have to be very mindful of who you're listening to. And I'm gonna grab these quick pre's, man. It's not even that many. These dudes, man, and people like them are hirelings. That's nothing more, nothing less. They're in it for their own gain. They're not here for the, they're not inspired by the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's why when things went left in Sakari, they switched up they left Sakari, switched up the doctrine, made their own other thing, and at the end of the 24, it's about the money. They have monetized videos. Now they're stepping back. I guarantee you, they might be stepping down. All right, they might not be the face of it anymore, but I guarantee you they're going to somehow, some way collect revenue from the content that they're creating. All right, so this is Isaiah 8 and 20. Because these men are not sincere. For you young believers out there, because this is who this video is really for. This is not about correcting them or talking about them. I just needed to mention that, so that you can be mindful and cautious. All right, this is about being mindful, man. Really thinking about, who am I listening to right now? Isaiah 8:20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there's no light in them, right? And even like ISUPK, they still stand by the fact that they think that John the Baptist was not in the truth. What type of statement is that? Those are clearly men that are not speaking according to this word. There's no light in them. They don't have, meaning that they don't have the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai upon them. Alright, Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash. It's so obvious. When you make unlearned statements like that, when you make statements like, oh, we're not supposed to worship Yahweh Shai, when you make them type statements, them statements that are men that don't have the light in them. You see? When you make statements, man, now the heathen can be saved. Oh, the name to call upon is Jesus. Man, look. It's too late, and that's the other thing too. It's too late in the game for them to be talking about, oh, we got to take a step back and examine ourselves. What you mean? Obviously, we all examine ourselves daily, but for you to leave your position of being a shepherd, it just goes to show that you were not a shepherd. You're a hireling. That's something that somebody who's hired would do. I got to take a step back and regroup. My company's falling apart. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of situation that they're in right now. That's what they're doing right now. Oh, we got to take a step back to, like, come on, man. So you're going to just leave your flock out there to dry? That's what you're doing. You see? Never do you hear our elders and apostles doing that. You know, do corrections come out when things are incorrect? Of course, but you don't see them. Yeah, we're gonna take like a year off. Too much stuff going on. No, you know, we got this. That's the difference, man. We got the Spirit of the Lord supping with us. All right, we ain't over here rewriting the whole doctrine, coming up with a whole. You know what I mean? No, none of that, man. We're speaking according to the Word. Jeremiah 3:15, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And that's exactly what our elders and apostles are doing and have been doing. All right, and our elders and brothers, that's coming up and coming brothers, up and coming elders, brothers that's been in the truth for 5, to 10 years. We're doing things according to the heart of the Lord, and we're feeding with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Obviously, all praises goes to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for that. It's not of our own will. But you see the sincerity in brothers. Brothers ain't being weirdos, man. And when weirdo behavior happens, it gets dealt with accordingly. These dudes over here, first off, that's how these dudes is not of the Lord, because they're always in some type of controversy. And, the difference, because it's going to happen to us as well, where we're going to be caught up in certain controversies. All right, but the difference is it's going to happen to us for the name of the Lord's sake, for Yahushai's sake. To them, it's happening for the sake of them being judged, because with them, it's not like, it happens because they keep switching up. It happens because they're wicked. It happens because they're wrong. These dudes out here switching up doctrines. They were part of a group that was never about Yahushai. They were under a man that said it was okay to be a Hebrew Israelite and be a gang member. Dude was a pimp, probably still is, who knows, right? That's why they're getting judged, not because they're men of the Lord. They're not getting judged for righteousness' sake. They're getting judged because they're wicked. They're wicked. That's the thing. They're not people that just, oh yeah, you just got to repent. Which in reality, yeah, that's all you got to do. These dudes ain't about that. Clearly. They talking about stepping down. Man, World War III is around the corner. The micro C-hip, the brain C-hip is being promoted now. I just seen a video about it. I make a video on it later, Lord willing, if the Spirit allows. But that's the situation that we're in. And what you want to take breaks? Oh yeah, gotta take a step back real quick. Gotta examine ourselves, man. Shoot, these dudes, they ain't it, man. That's why you have to be mindful of who you listen to, because you got young believers out there that might listen to Great Millstone, but they also still listen to them and Sakari and ISUPK, because you don't really know where the Spirit, you still kind of haven't had a chance to discern yet and know when the Spirit of the Lord is on somebody or not. Be mindful. All right, John 10:11. I got these 3 left. It says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. Which is talking about Yahushua, right? But he that is an hireling, and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scattereth the sheep. Right. It says the hireling fleeth because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep. Right. These men are not. That's the thing. Why would you want to follow these men? These men are not about you. Us here at Great Millstone, man, we're about the flock of the Lord. We do these videos because for edification and exhortation's sake. We don't do this so that we can get money out of it. These men make money off of their videos. We don't. We're not here for that. Okay? We're here out of fear, for one, fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right? We're here because we fear the Lord, and because we want to exhort, all right, and edify the sheep of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. These men are not about their followers and their listeners. They're not about the people who believe in the Lord. Ooh, Salakia. If they were about them, why are they switching up the doctrine? Why are they charging for, now they ain't doing it, the Genesis guys, Hassad and Hakkad, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, but what was they doing in Sakari? Charging for Hebrew prayers, charging for Hebrew names. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, they are not about their father's business. They're about their own business. They have their own thing going on. They're hirelings. So the hireling fleeth because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep. He's not about the sheep. And what did Yahushua say to Peter? Peter, if you love me, feed my sheep. And he asked him 3 times. If he said, if you love me, feed my sheep. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. 3 times. All right? It's for a reason. Okay? So, hey, These men are not, and it ain't just them. You know, I'm just talking about them because of the recent situation. But you have to be mindful of who you're listening to. Okay? Don't just be listening to any old body. Just because they got fringes on does not mean that they're right. You know? They might even have a garment down to the foot. That doesn't make you right. All right? What makes you right is the doctrine that you're teaching. Is it 100% truth? You know? If it's not according to the scriptures, man, hey, cast them away, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, just be mindful of who you listen to, man. Just a quick encouragement for your new believers, man. Hey, may the Spirit of the Lord be with you, man. You know, I want to give all praises going on to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rachak double honors, and to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, which are the men that rule well and taught us His truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations as always be to the elect man. Shalom.